Welcome back to Gollum Slowly Grows a Beard. I'm your host, Hobo Pete. We got a great show for you tonight. More shit no one cares about. Our story begins in New York City in 1822 as a 71-foot side-wheeled steamboat named the Caroline is being built. The ship, originally known as the Carolina, was built with a copper bottom. This was to break through the ice on the Niagara River. The steamboat was being built for William Wells. Little is known about William Wells and his adventures on the Carolina, but we do know that he was wealthy, he was from Buffalo, and he supported an independent Canada in some form or another. One thing we do know for 100%, concretely stamped in stone for sure, is in 1837, William Wells gave the Carolina, which was now named the Caroline, to the Canadian Rebellion, which was now stationed on Navy Island, of course. All Wells asked for is that there would be a guarantee that if anything would happen to the Caroline, that he would be reimbursed. Privately, they did come up to an agreement just in case something would happen to the boat. That's called foreshadowing. Now, some of you are confused and a little scared of the words coming out of my mouth. So let's go back and we'll talk about the rebellion thing. So we'll have to catch up with William Mackenzie. William Leon Mackenzie to be exact. William, or we're just gonna call him Mackenzie because we already have a William, was a journalist and a politician. In 1834, he became the first mayor of Toronto. Good for him. He was also a little bit of a bad boy. See, back then, Canada was ran by something called the Family Compact, which was a bunch of wealthy businessmen that were very loyal to England and did not like any type of reform. He started a revolution, creatively called the 1837 Canadian Revolution, where he tried to gain independence for, can you guess what? Canada, correct. A fun little side note that I found, he is also the grandfather of William Mackenzie King, who was the longest serving Canadian Prime Minister starting in 1938 going to 1945, just right at the end of World War II. Anyway, back to the blood and guts. On December 5th, 1837, Mackenzie had a brilliant idea. Why organize a revolution when a revolution should organize itself? So he just decided to march on Toronto, thinking that the masses would join him. The rebellion failed. Very few people did join him. Some did though, so I mean, that's a notch in his hat, good on him. Then 2 days later, the Loyalist Army, for people who are not Canadian, the Loyalist Army is basically the Redcoats, marched on Mackenzie, pushing him all the way to Navy Island, which is on the Niagara River, where he thought he could rekindle his revolution somehow. Mackenzie then started a big line of fuck it all and declared the Republic of Canada, which was just Navy Island, and that's it. This brings us back to the Caroline. See, Mackenzie needed a ship to bring supplies back and forth to the island. So William Wells said, okay, you can use my ship. And it was half the time docked in Niagara Falls on the American side and the other half the time in Navy Island. The man put in charge of defending the border at Niagara Falls was a man named Allan McNabb, who ironically was part of the Family Compact that I mentioned earlier, but was also a veteran of the War of 1812. That's the war where Canada burned down the White House. So on the 29th of December, McNabb ordered Andrew Drew to fuck up the Caroline, hoping to cut off supplies to the island. I'm starting to get like Attack of the Clone flashbacks, you know, when like Boba Fett's like, hey, shapeshifter lady, go fuck up Padme, and then they're like, I got it, and then they send like a little robot. There's that meme, the Lego meme, I'm sure you've seen it, of the doesn't want to do it himself, just that's what I'm thinking of. That, but like historical and fun. Anyway, so McNabb found the Caroline moored, which is docked, at Fort Scotsler? This place. I'll put a visual up, you'll see it. The militia killed the watchman, and cut the line, setting it adrift in the Niagara River. As the Caroline drifted out into the river, they lit it on fire, which apparently also, as it was heading towards Canada, it guided the militia back home, which is like some Bible shit. Now, this did raise a lot of tension between Britain and the United States, and also ended Mackenzie's revolution, as several of his friends were then arrested and killed for treason. Mackenzie then was exiled into the States. I don't know how he got off so lucky, but he did. So he ran off into the States and became a journalist, where then he fell into horrible debt. But then in 1857, the Canadian government pardoned Mackenzie and let him return back, which is really nice. Again, because they killed his friends for doing the exact same thing, but you know, he gets to come on back. When he returned, he went back to being a journalist and a politician until he died in 1861. And that's really it. There was really no fallout after that. There was several other Canadian revolutions, or rebellions as they're known today, and they were squashed. Mackenzie's wasn't really that special, other than the fact of the story of the Caroline, which also really doesn't matter. I mean, like, the Caroline didn't really do much before then. I don't actually know why I chose to do this story. You can go now.